the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown.
Welcome back to this, already the final segment of today's Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. It's your business to get your health checked really quickly if you are a music professional in your 60s or 70s, because they apparently are falling like flies. It's horrible what's going on. Glenn Frey, another one of the great singer-songwriters of my time. It just can't believe it, and I'd be probably weeping over it if I wasn't finished, weeping over David Bowie's sudden passing. I don't know. I'm in shock and awe. It's pretty horrific. I don't know what to say, Sigmund Kramer.
Well, I mean, it's just sad that it seems to, whatever's in the water seems to have crossed the pond to America, because now they're starting to drop like flies over here, and I don't know. The Eagles, man, you think that Glenn Frey, who was a health nut for a long time, that he would have lasted, but unfortunately 67 seems awfully young, doesn't it?
Very young, younger every year, in my humble opinion. So anyway, for David Bowie, we did this huge music tribute. I'm not going to be here to do one because I'm fixing to leave. We didn't have time with the way our show's scheduled today, but maybe when I get back, we'll do 20 minutes of the Eagles, because they're certainly worthy of it.
Oh my goodness!
Such beautiful like we did
music
with David Bowie. But I'm leaving for a few days, going on a big jet plane. And not sure when I'll be back again. Oh, no, I am.
No, that's a different band.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be, back for Tuesday's show is what I hope to be back for. But in the interim, a very good friend of mine, William Edmundson, he has been a long-term feature on this program, although we hadn't seen much of him, I guess, for about a year now. Yeah. But William Edmundson, everyone who's a regular listener to this show knows him from Abbey Executive Suites. He's going to be sitting in the driver's seat for the next few days. I'm going to Boston. We're going to be doing a couple of stories from there, but also mainly vacationing. I know, in January. Crazy. It's a long story. I don't have time for it. I'll write in my biography, my autobiography someday. It's a funny story, and it's self-deprecating. But anyway, William, I'm glad you're going to be able to sit in for the next few days.
Well, thanks. I've always felt like family here in my time with Abby and just working with you and Sigmund, and I really look forward to it.
So you come from a dysfunctional home, too, I think.
Apparently. A
lot of alcohol, drug abuse, those type of things. So I get it. I feel like family here, too. So I just figure, you never really leave home, as one of those cliches. So
go to your room.
That's right. Go to your room. I am in my room. People, knew how small our studio was. They go, wow, that's a small room they put that poor guy in.
It's like the tiny houses.
That's right, tiny houses. William, talk a little bit about what you did over there at Abbey. What happened to Abbey?
Yeah, no, I get that question time and time again. And Abbey Executive Suites, I was brought in, Kevin, it was about 6 years ago. The owner, Chris Brown, had been in business for 16, 17, 18 years. And he wanted somebody to come in and take the company to the next level. And having done that with brands like Hampton Inns and other companies in the hospitality industry, I came in and did some things with the culture and wonderful team that I had, and was able to grow the earnings, triple-digit growth, sales up double-digit growth, about 44%, and was able to grow the number of locations that we had, and that put us in a very good position for our global competitor, Regis, to buy us. Yeah. And so that worked out really well for Mr. Brown, the owner, and for me, although I did put myself out of work, but the good news is it was by design.
Yeah, and you did well, even how that panned out. So that's been great for you. Talk about what happened after that. You've had a pretty exciting story. I wish you've been maintaining a diary of this, an entrepreneurial diary of this, because it's an interesting story of what's happening since.
Yeah, it's interesting. Right about the time Abbey we were finishing up the sale to Regis. Some folks that I know at a computer software company called Hotel Systems Pro called me and asked me if I would come be their president and CEO and move to Atlanta and run the software company for the hospitality industry. And I got there, and no sooner than I got there did they get an offer that way exceeded the valuation of the company, and I was there to advise them, and I advised them to take the money and run because it was such a good offer. And that changed what I was going to do from being full-time president and CEO to being an interim president with three key things that I was responsible for, Kevin. One was leading the company. The second was advising the owners through the due diligence and the sale. And the third was really very important, which is I had to maintain the employee productivity, morale, and key client relationships. And a lot of people don't think about this, but when you're selling a company, everything is being watched. And if you don't maintain those things, you can lose some of the value of the company and end up selling for less than you thought you might. But we ended up coming out ahead, got the company sold quicker than we planned, and I put myself out of business
a job
again.
Yeah.
But again by design, which is great. So being a native Houstonian and being back here after decades in the hospitality industry, working for Hilton with the Hampton brand and Choice launching a brand for them, I'm looking for something that I can do here in Houston, taking the skill sets that I have and putting them to work for someone here. If I can do that, if not, certainly I'm looking globally. But what I'm looking for, Kevin, is something where I can take all the things that I've learned through all these experiences and find a leadership opportunity with the focus on what I like to look at as a triangle. And that triangle, three pieces are the organization, the customer, and the stakeholder. And I'm going to do that through the development and execution of a strategic plan like I've done at my other stops along the way.
Yeah. That's so basically when you come into a company, that's what you do, right? You map out where they are currently, and from there, how you're going to develop it into what's necessary to achieve whatever the objective is.
Exactly. And, it can be as simple as adding a product line or going through the P&L and finding some real obvious things. But typically it's going to involve those kind of things like the P&L, but the culture is probably my strongest suit. The culture followed by how the brand is marketed, and I'm those are two things that I really enjoy doing. Is getting the team there where they want to give over 100% for the company, and then of course the marketing and branding, getting that word out there so people know not only what you do but where you're located or how they can do business with you.
So when I met you, I'd already been working with Abby for at least 2 years, maybe.
Right.
That's just how long the relationship had been. And, it was a sleepy little executive suites company, when our paths crossed,
Right.
And to see what you did in such an incredibly short period of time, frankly, it became extremely easy to sell at a pretty high rate within 2 years, but you knew with a little more effort, you would make a situation would be impossible for Regis to not get you out of the way, essentially.
Right.
And it's extraordinary. I mean, you are a man of vision, a man of purpose. You're incredibly disciplined, but you're not a Fuhrer, type of personality. I think you bring all kinds of traits that are extremely needed in a business culture today. So whoever ends up landing you, congratulations to them.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it.
I'd hire you myself if I could afford you. And I mean that, too, because, we've got our own organization and love to have someone with your direction. I'm more of a philosopher prince than I am a executive, type. I'm in the wrong millennia. Forget about the wrong decade. But I love what I do. I'm grateful I get to do what I do. But, the stuff that you're extraordinary at is amazing. And so you can take companies like Abby, which really was little more than a small mid-market company, to one that, an enterprise level company could not live without.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. And, just like you're passionate at what you do, I get very passionate about the companies that I'm running. And it shows the employees believe in it more. And it just makes it a lot of fun, Kevin.
Yeah. Well, listen, if people want to learn more about William, I would just encourage you to contact us at info@usabusinessradio.com, and we'll be glad to forward that over to him. info@usabusinessradio.com. You're going to be hearing a lot more of him over the next few days. Thanks for guest hosting.
Oh, I'm glad to do it. Thank you.
We're looking forward to it. And I always look forward to a little time off, so it'll be good for both of us. All right, when I come back, I'll look forward to talking to you. Meanwhile, I do want to tell you the show continues 24/7 at priceofbusiness.com. Plus, we've got the recent TV shows nicely put there over at usdailyreview.com in the featured section and in the business and politics section. Great interview there with Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and much more. All right, have a great rest of your day. Spend it wisely on this station.